So good morning everyone. It looks like there's been a little bit of confusion. You'll have to excuse the camera shaking. I've got one hand on it. I'm upstairs having a quick coffee. So this video I've done about the S62, I've done a couple. That 10 years ago was the last time I did one of these. I've done a lot more since, S54 for example. But I never have any problem with Vanos codes because I do know how to time them up right. However, the video I did, it wasn't really, I suppose you could say it was kind of incorrect. Turning from clockwise to anti-clockwise as I'm pushing the shaft in. That isn't what I was trying to do. I was trying to emphasise that there is kind of a sweet spot. However, there's a better way to show this sweet spot. So what I did really, according to two comments, which I really appreciate those people for pointing that out, because it is a community and we don't have to get all funny about it. But what I want to do, and I can't show you before I go into like how to do it properly, which is the right way, I'll read the BMW instructions, but I can't show them because of copyright reasons. Attach Vanos adjustment unit, that's the hydraulic unit, what I've shown you. Ensure both Vanos spline shafts remain in initial position during assembly procedure. Rotate spline shafts of inlet and exhaust side until straight splines are engaged. Basically the straight like input shaft type splines into the camshafts, not the helical ones. Because remember, they won't engage until you put the sweet spot in, right? So you've got all your wheels to the right now. You've hydraulic units in place on the long bolts, but you haven't bolted your shafts on yet. Because if you've got to get the sweet spot on, you've got to mesh it in. Next, push Vanos adjustment unit, hydraulic unit, with spline shafts into Vanos gear until helical cut splines 2, that's where the sweet spot is, are positioned shortly before meshing with the spline hub, the sprocket. Exhaust side. If the helical cut splines cannot be pushed into the hub, place special tool on the bore in the spline hub 1 and rotate against the direction of rotation, away from clockwise. It's exactly how I did it in the video. Until spline shaft is positioned with spline hub. Caution, the first fitting tooth must snap into place, which is the sweet spot. But it's telling you, BMW is telling you to turn it from anti-clockwise. That's the way I was doing it. However, as you'll see in the video now, the way that it's supposed to be done, and I've done a lot of measuring, by the way, to see if it would make any differences. So let's have a look at that now. And it's same on the intake, special tool, but it's a different special tool. And I'll show you shortly what I mean by that hole and where it should be, basically. Because that hole it was in 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock position, but I moved it to 12 o'clock because that's where it should be. It doesn't affect the operation of the Vanos sprocket or anything, but it's just so you can put this special tool, 117150 is the tool part number, into it and then just turn it against rotation. So what it's saying is you should push like I was doing with the Vanos spline, and then to get the sweet spot, turn it. Well, that's exactly what BMW tell you. That's exactly what I did. However, as I said, I appreciate all the messages what I've had. I'm not one of them people that thinks, oh, you know, sod you kind of thing. I'll do it my way. Basically, I do paint them up on the S54, but I've not done an S62 for years, and I just didn't paint them up. But that doesn't mean I don't know where the bloody sweet spot is. And as we'll see in the video, there's actually more than one sweet spot. You'll be amazed. So let's take a look at that now. Since this question was posed to me about this, I'm really happy that it was, because I understand the system more. Even though I do understand it, I've understood some nuances of it. So this is the perfect sweet spot. I'm keeping pressure on the opposite side. I'm not turning it like that. I'm keeping pressure there. And it goes straight in. I don't need to do that, it'll go in anyway. But I want to show you how you can actually get another sweet spot that isn't the right sweet spot. So that's still all the way, it doesn't move. When I pull it back out, you still can't move it to the right. But if you get this sweet spot here, one spline to the opposite, it's still kind of a sweet spot, isn't it? With the nuance though, because when you take it out, you can turn it a bit. Like that. It's not much. Tiny bit. But still, once it's out, you can turn it a bit. It's kind of a sweet spot, because it's all the way to the right and it goes in. Nice, look, all the way to the right. All the way to the right, it goes in, no problem. However, you can still turn that little bit of movement, and that's not right, is it? So the proper sweet spot, all the way to the right, is that one. And when it's out, it's still all the way to the right. So there is actually another kind of sweet spot, which I never knew about. So, but the point is, all of us in this BMW industry, we've done it different ways. And according to BMW, you've got to do it a certain way, the way I was doing it, which I'll read the instructions when I have time, when I get home in a bit. And the instructions are quite clear. but I can't show them because of copyright reasons. Okay, so we call it 8mm, between 8mm and 8.10. This is not the most accurate way of actually measuring it. Just to give an idea, we've got full adjustment there. So let's do it the other way and let's turn it not on the sweet spot the way I did it. We'll see there is a difference. Yeah, so it does make a difference, doesn't it? 5.4 versus just over 8mm. Now, it depends really. I'm sort of on the fence with this. First of all, I don't know why I did that video the way I did it, probably because it's been so many years since I've done it. One of these engines. But obviously I should have done it that way, painted it up, as I do on the S54. I've not done one of these S62s for about 10 years. The question is, can we achieve this same advance and retard? That's the middle position, isn't it? So you would advance and retard around that centre line there. Like so. The point is this movement sufficient when the hydraulic unit is connected, if we do it this way? Now, I would argue it is. However, as you can see, it's quite dangerous because it'll come to the edge of the travel, which is not good, because that's the middle position. So yes, it might work in that sense, but it'll be right at the end of the travel, yeah, which is not good. So in that sense, if it's done the right way, which is there, but it still comes to the end of the travel no matter which way you do it. So I don't really know whether would it be a problem doing it that way. You see, sweet spot, centre line, it's at the end of the travel again anyway. Would it matter, or would it just be a case of it might not mesh in so easy when the Vanos is working? If you see what a point, but the point what I'm making now, in my eyes, it's quite an enigmatic, cryptographic thing, isn't it? So you get in full travel, and there, that's probably the bit there where you would just lose that last bit there, and you wouldn't get quite full adjustment in that sense. So that would probably throw the fault code, wouldn't it? So yeah, to sum this up, really, it has to be done that way, with the sweet spot found with it all the way to the right, for that reason. So that was really, I'm glad people pointed that out to me. I'm not a machine. Sometimes I do things not quite the right way, but I'm pretty sure when I build this up I would have done it this way anyway, because I usually always do that. I know about that sweet spot. So there, yeah, I did a bit of messing about, but now I can definitely say that we've got like all 4 of them on that sweet spot for sure. But it was a bit weird how you have that other second kind of sweet spot, but it does move a bit to the right every time you take it out, so therefore it ain't this so-called proper sweet spot, you know. So they're definitely all to the right. They're all locked to the right, you know. I'm not gonna move them to the left, and yeah, it's ready to be built up. But unfortunately, I got the wrong base and seal kit, so I got the wrong one. There's 2 different variants for the base and seal kit, and I can't put my Teflons on my pistons of my Vanos hydraulic unit because of the wrong ones. The bottom one fits, but the top one's too deep. It won't go into the recess. So 2 weeks time I'll be building this up. Anyway, thanks for correcting me, everyone. Thanks for your comments. This is what it's all about. It's a community, and all the better for it, because we're constantly refining our craft and doing better, aren't we? And if I didn't explain it properly and it didn't look correct, let's just say it wasn't, and let's just say thanks for your input, guys, and let's keep going. It's all about learning from each other. It's not about egos, is it? At the end of the day, the guy will get the M5 back, it'll have plenty of power, hopefully, with no fault codes. That's all we want.